right, it's the September 2025 live stream. See, there's 3 people on, so I'm gonna give it just a minute for other people to hop on here. Before I forget, a few things today. One, my drink of the day. I was starving this morning and didn't have any food at the house, so on my way here, I went to Subway. I got their deal of the day, comes with a drink. So this is just Diet Pepsi, nothing fancy. I actually did buy a cool drink of the day to try, and I forgot it at home. So that'll have to wait till next month. But yeah, just Diet Pepsi for today. Next order of business is that, hey TM USA, hey, I see you have a new profile picture too. So next order of business, basically YouTube has changed another setting, and they're saying now that they're gonna automatically make 2 or 3 shorts from every live stream of what the AI considers to be the most interesting parts of the stream. I'm not sure how that works, but apparently after the live stream happens, I guess maybe they send them to me and ask me if I want them to be posted. So I don't know if I'll review them. If it's anything decent, I might post it. But just know there are some, I've never posted a short on this channel, but it might happen. And if it seems confusing, it's because the AI created it. But yeah, that might happen. So, yeah, that's the start of it. I see people are hopping on here. Sorry about the lighting again, but this is the best that I can do in this conference room. So I was about to tell you guys that here in New England, it's full on winter. And then, because I mean, it's been like 50 some degrees every day. And then today it's 80. So happy about that. I don't really get to get outside and do anything in it though, because I'm doing this and I've got to do some work later, but yeah, it's, I guess not winter, so we'll see when that actually starts. Good news is, I know I'm not trying to spend money, but I did get a coat, like a really heavy winter coat, which obviously I'm not wearing today when it's 80. But I'm happy I have that because it's supposed to be pretty brutal here in the winter. And next month's expenditure will be buying winter boots, which is also a thing I've never had to do before. So I'm gonna figure that out. But anyway, that'll be an October thing that I'll get that figured out. So as people are popping on here, I did just want to explain. I feel like September has been like a week long rather than a month. Like I can tell you guys, I literally have the tab or the window open on my computer still from the last live stream that we did at the end of August, because like normally I adjust a couple of things and I read through all the live chat comments to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I haven't had time to do that in a month. That's never happened before. Case, I don't know what to do about the audio. Let me see, because my mic's on, volume is up. Let me check. Now the only option I have in stream is just to mute myself, but that's not gonna help. Just a body mic. I mean, I could get one. I mean, I can look into getting it. The only thing is, is anybody else having that issue? I mean, the thing is, I know last stream you were the only one that said anything about it, but I can get one because there is some stuff like later on that I'm planning on making that would probably necessitate one, so I could do that. Okay, Greg says audio is fine. Yeah, I'm not sure. See, I'm just filming on my iPhone. I have a ring light, and it's got like a stand in the middle of it that holds the phone. Um, so it's literally just like the tripod with the ring light and this held on here, but the only actual electronic is just my iPhone, and I'm filming on the front camera. Um, I do eventually, I found this thing, I forget the name of it, but it's a thing that snaps on the back of your phone, and it mirrors with Bluetooth what's on the front screen. That way I can do the live streams while I can see myself, um, and I can do them with the rear camera. I don't know if you guys will be able to notice a difference, but the rear camera is better, so hopefully it'll be a better image quality. Let's see, so Case said, well, Case said something. My computer will scroll down and let me see it. There it is. Any update on works and dating? Well, dating's probably the easier one. Let me know what you mean by works. Just like work, like what I'm doing for a job. But for dating, I'm not. That's the easiest way to put that. It's just the same as previous months. Like I'm on the apps. Haven't met up with anyone. So, it's just kind of I guess, got to find someone that I am interested in meeting up with, I suppose. So, don't know really what to say about that. I'm not in a position though where I can like really meet anyone in person. So it's gonna have to be either online or on the apps somehow. Because I live with like 30 dudes, and any girls they bring over, they're like 20, so that's probably not a good idea. But so yeah, that's kind of where that is, and I would say if I meet somebody, cool. If I don't, that's cool too, and I'm just open to. Just open to meeting somebody, or if it's somebody I already know and get to know them better, that's cool too. So just see what happens with that. So I guess I don't really have an answer for you about that. And as far as the other thing you said, job or gigs, well, so I'm still working at the fraternity, and October will be, I think, my 9th month working there. So as of next month, I guess, I will have worked in this position as long as I worked in my previous position, which was the house director job in Indiana. So, I mean, unless I get fired, I anticipate being here for the rest of the school year and planning on being here for the school year after that. After that, I'll see. But that would put me through 2027, so I can figure out a lot by then. As far as gigs, I really have not been doing anything as far as gigs. I've been very busy with my main job. I always feel like I'm behind. There's never, it's not like a 40-hour-a-week job. Like I'm salaried, and while my hours are flexible, it means that I'm working all the time. I work every day, and I work really weird hours, like middle of the night. Like I didn't go to bed until like, I don't know, 7 this morning or something like that. My sleep is all messed up. A couple days ago, I woke up and I was so confused because it was dark. And I'm like, what happened? I slept until 7:30 p.m. And I think what it is like generally I stay up pretty late. and then that means I sleep in pretty late, and that's generally fine for the schedule I have here, and working around the schedule of the guys. But I think what happened was that happened, plus on top of it, I was having trouble actually getting to sleep. So I stayed up like extra late, and then apparently I did that a few nights in a row, and then slept for like 12 and a half hours somehow. But anyway, that was a weird thing. But as far as gigs, because of my weird work and sleep schedule, it's hard for me to schedule anything else. And like DoorDash and Instacart really aren't options just because my car. Um, I have looked for part-time jobs, but they're not very many, and the ones that there are wouldn't be worth the time put into it. Like, I would get more value out of other things that I could do um, in my life other than working for like $15 an hour or something. So, I've had some trouble. You guys have probably noticed I haven't been doing any furniture assembly, and I don't know really what happened with that. I was doing it full time for 2022 and 2023, and for 2024 it dropped off a lot. But I kind of supplemented that by getting my own leads, because before that I got like all my leads through TaskRabbit. And so I started doing my own advertising. Um, and basically what happened was, once I moved to Indiana, well, kind of when I moved back from the Carolinas to Ohio, I only got one gig. Um, and then once I got out to Indiana, I got one gig. And then I got one gig through TaskRabbit in Indianapolis, and that was it. So like midpoint last year, it just died. And it wasn't just TaskRabbit, because I wasn't getting leads anywhere from any of my advertising. And then since I've been up here, a lot of it has been I've been busy with work, um, but I also have not been getting any leads through TaskRabbit at all. Um, there is also a job board where they post some jobs, and I'm having an issue with that right now. I won't go in depth with it because it's long and complicated. But essentially, I'm not able to claim jobs off the job board, and I'm working with support to try to figure out what's going on with that. There were actually 3 of them on there recently that I wanted to take and couldn't. Um, and so the only, so the other thing is, I got off track here. Oh yeah. So what, so basically in 2025, I've done 0 furniture assembly jobs so far. But I do have one lined up tomorrow. I am going to be going to Massachusetts for the first time tomorrow. I have a job in, I don't know how to pronounce anything here. It looks like Saugus, but it's, yeah. So basically what's gonna happen is I am going to rent a car, which is fine. It's a business expense. And I'll be able to write it off. And basically I'm gonna do that, run a couple errands while I have the car. I will probably do some DoorDash while I have the car, just to make up the cost of the car. But basically, I'm gonna go do this job. I had another inquiry, but the guy wanted it done that day, and I couldn't get there that soon. So transportation's kind of an issue, but I'm maybe starting to get some leads. So, so I don't know. Well, that's kind of where that is. I'm hoping that like I'm just gonna get some more furniture assembly tasks. I set my TaskRabbit location to Boston now, because I figured out how to get a rental car, and like I said, it's a business expense when I do that. So I'm thinking I can go to Boston and get more leads, and then I can advertise locally, so I can hopefully get some local jobs as well. And then if I can get that job board figured out, then I can do that. But that would be the only gig type thing that I'm doing. And right now I don't have any contractors working for me. It's just me actually doing the furniture assembly myself. Okay, I got way behind on comments, so let me get back here. Max says it was a really rough week. dating for me. Wednesday, a girl gave me her Instagram, said she'd follow back, never did, ghosted. Um, Yesterday, I asked another for her number. She said her boyfriend was right there. Oh, well, I mean, you can't really do anything about the boyfriend thing. Um, but I mean, look at it this way. At least she told you that she has a boyfriend and she didn't, like, you know, try to talk to you anyway. Because, I mean, you wouldn't want a girl that does that. Um, you know, because if she'd do it to him, she'd do it to you, kind of thing. As far as the first girl, I mean, yeah, don't feel bad about that, man. I mean, I don't know how you're going about dating, because honestly, I'm kind of out of the loop. But as far as Instagram, you're not the only one that's happened to. And for me, it was not a dating situation; it was a professional situation. I was like, it was back in May. I went to an official YouTube event. Um, I think I posted about it on my Instagram, actually. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, it's just the Mark Gowdy. And if you go over there, you can see there's a picture of me with a lanyard from the event. And at that event, yeah, I was social with like everybody there, but I really hit it off with this girl who was some kind of like higher up in YouTube partner programs. And like she even came out and stood with me while I was waiting for my Uber to get back. And then my Uber showed up and I was like, oh, hey, do you, what did I ask her for? I didn't ask for her number. I think maybe it was Instagram, because a lot of us were following each other on Instagram, like our professional Instagrams rather than our personal ones. Um, and and so she's like, she kind of like hesitated for a moment, and then she asked me if we could do LinkedIn, and I was like, yeah, that'd be great. So she like took my phone, typed in her name to her profile, and then I added her, and she's like, oh cool, I'm walking back to the hotel and I'll add you when I get back. I'm like, never added me. So that felt kind of shitty. I mean, well, not just because it was somebody who was like with YouTube, but like also, I don't know, like we just like really got along, and it wasn't like a dating thing. It was just oh cool, I met somebody at YouTube who's like really passionate about the same stuff as me, and we had a good conversation. I want to stay connected to this person, so professional networking. And I don't know what happened, but that didn't feel great. So I get it, man. I haven't been dating for so long. Like, I really haven't dated since. Well, I mean, like, I met the girl in 2012. So I really stopped dating at that point, and I've only been on I think, one date since then, and that was like almost 2 years ago. And I don't know if it's everyone, but it just seems like, I don't know if the culture changed or if it's just because I'm dating older people now because I'm older, but everyone sucks now. Like, and I don't mean that like they're like low quality. I mean like people treat each other so badly. They just are vicious, and I don't know, man. Try to find a girl that's not like that. That's all I can tell you. Try to find a girl that like is respectful. So that's what I'm looking for. Case says economy is not good. Women look at dating like men look at jobs, just money. I had an encounter years ago. Got a girl to my place and she asked for LV bags outright on the first date. LOL. I'm guessing that's Louis Vuitton. So are you saying? Oh, so you're saying that women are, instead of looking for jobs, looking for guys as like a source of income. So this is another thing that kind of goes along with the shitty the everyone sucks now in dating thing. Up until like all through college and up until I met the girl, I never experienced that, and it was a huge shock for me when I started to try to date again. That was like late fall of 2023. No, 20, yeah, yeah, 2023. Um, when I moved down to North Carolina, and when I really started to open up to try to date again, and I was really shocked. Like I was absolutely really shocked. And to be fair, it seems like something that was extremely rampant in Charlotte that I haven't experienced much anywhere else. But it was pretty much, yeah, as soon as I got there, all the girls I matched with were very blatantly only interested in money, and like they wanted to date me, but only because of what I could provide. And it's like, is it too much to ask for a girl to just like me? Um, like that's what I'm looking for, right? And it hasn't been as bad since I left Charlotte, so maybe it's just a Charlotte thing. I don't know, but I do get what you're saying. People weren't talking about this back in 2012, before I started my last relationship. So it is weird. Like you've got sprinkle, sprinkle, and drizzle, drizzle. If you guys don't know what that is, you can look it up on TikTok. There's like, I could never do this because I've never had anybody pay for like anything in my life ever. This would just be too much for me. But there's like the soft boy era where I don't know if it's a joke or not, but like guys are talking about it. It's like you said. So the girl wanted you to buy her a Louis Vuitton bag on the first date. The girls started this thing called Sprinkle Sprinkle, which was basically saying that they were not going to work anymore, and then like it was a man's responsibility to support them, and um, and took it like way too far, basically. And so men came back and did drizzle drizzle, which was the opposite. It was like, saying, well, this woman has to pay my bills on the first date, and which I don't think they're serious. I think they're just making fun of the girls saying that. But like, no one should be doing that. I mean, yes, for my ex, I paid her bills because I was in a really good financial situation. We had an agreement that she was going to help me later when I inevitably was in a bad situation. And this was somebody that I was engaged to, that I'd known for almost a decade. That's a very different scenario. We were essentially married, right? Like, I don't just give anyone money. And I've always been totally cool with just paying for the first date, well, really paying for all the dates as the guy. That was always expected, and I never felt any kind of way about that. But as I'm seeing more and more entitlement and like demanding of like, it's our first date, after that you're responsible for paying all my bills kind of thing, I'm just kind of getting to the point where like, maybe you should pay for my food. Maybe you should take me on a date. I'm not hard and fast set that I'm going to start enforcing that, but I'm almost there. I mean, I could not imagine, and I wouldn't, asking a woman, even if we were dating like long term, let alone on the first date, I would never say like, that she needs to pay my bills. But they don't seem to have a problem saying that. And so now I'm wondering, like, well, it is only fair. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll just sort of cut it down the middle. Maybe that'll just be my thing of, if I meet somebody, I'll just be like, hey, if we go out on a date, we're each going to pay our own way, and just keep everything separate. So I think people are being ridiculous, is basically what it comes down to. I never used to have a problem, but because of the way I've kind of been treated and how I've seen that like people in general are being, um, I am kind of the mind now where I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna pay for first dates anymore. There's too much of a chance that it is just like for a free meal or for whatever other nefarious purpose. Maybe later on, um, but yeah, but like basically, I'm like, yeah, yeah, we can go out, but you got to pay for your own. And what's weird is if you guys remember, one of those girls I was telling you about, the really bad ones down in Charlotte, that girl was like, I asked her, so we said we're gonna meet up, just to like meet up for lunch or something, and I was like, yeah, sure. Do you want to go to Chipotle? Because it's my favorite restaurant. Okay, like I, and it's not like I asked her McDonald's. Okay, but like I asked her Chipotle because it's like it's okay. It's not, it's middle of the road. It's fairly cheap. And it's my favorite restaurant. I just asked her to go where I like to go. And she was like, I'm not familiar with that establishment. And then she said, she only goes to restaurants that have a dress code. And I'm just like, what? I, I mean, it wasn't even about money at that point. It was just about like how pretentious and out of touch she was. And I don't know where the money came from for her to do that, to only eat at these restaurants, because I found out that her job is that she breeds cats. Like, cats that are free. Um, I have no idea. It's like when you see the parodies of like House Hunters and people have these like ridiculous jobs um, that couldn't possibly make money, but then they have a huge budget for the house. She was like that. Uh, so anyway, what I'm saying is that I believe in equality, and I feel like I would split everything. Um, and I'm less inclined to follow traditional roles now, as I've been completely fine with doing before. Um, but just because of the sheer entitlement that I've faced in the dating market, I think I'm going to start screening people out. Number one, you'll see my car. That'll tell you a lot. Number two, you're going to have to pay for your own meal or whatever else we're doing. And number three, wherever we go is going to be like Chipotle level. Like, if you're not okay with that, if you're not down to earth enough to do something like that, I don't really want to associate with you. Um, if they want to get dressed up and go to a fancy restaurant, that's like an anniversary kind of thing. Um, I'll put that money into somebody that I know well. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. TD. Oh crap! Where did that go? TD. Simple and peaceful life. Hi. Hi. Case says, is Uber Eat or any of the food delivery gig not viable anymore? I'm not really sure because I haven't done it in such a long time. I mean, with my car, I'm lucky that it runs and goes as far as it does, and I don't want to push that any. But I think that they have cut pay more, yeah, than even before, because it was really low before. But I do think that they've cut it even more. So um, I'm not sure that it would really be worth my time to try to do that. The only thing is, I am gonna go to Costco in Boston tomorrow because I'm gonna have that rental car, and sometimes with Instacart, you can get a pretty good order at Costco. You just kind of have to hang out in the parking lot, um, and sometimes you get like $100 order, and that sometimes is worth it. But yeah, normal orders, no. They cut it again. It used to be $7 minimum for an Instacart order. I think they cut it to 4. They might have cut it again since then. I'm not sure. Max says, I feel a little more hardened to rejection, so I guess that's good. Yeah, man, and I think that's good practice. Like, yeah. I mean, it's weird to think of it as practice because I know, like, you were actually trying to, to actually date that girl, not just doing it for practice. But it's kind of like, I guess, job interviews where you might apply for a job you want and you go interview and you don't get it, but it still like helped you gain that experience in like interviewing, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how you're approaching girls, but like, just don't be weird about it, but like, just keep trying if you find somebody you're interested in. Case says, feels like being passport bro is the only way. At least men have to work for money. Oh man, there's a lot of comments here. Okay, oh yeah, feels like being passport bro is the only way. I don't want to do that just because I don't want to. I mean, no shade on anyone who's done that, but I don't want to just because I don't want to feel like I couldn't get a normal girlfriend and had to use, like economic arbitrage, I guess, to get one. So I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't date somebody that like is not from the U.S. It would just, I would want them to be from like a developed country where they can support themselves, where there's not like a weird like power dynamic difference. Case says, at least men have to work for money. Women just expect to have money without doing anything. And what's so bizarre is I got to like, I'm 40 now. I got to like 38 years old, maybe, before I experienced that. So I don't know if that didn't used to be the case and then it suddenly is, or if it's like that happens to women at a certain age. I don't know. But like, yeah, I'm definitely seeing that like as the predominant thing in the dating field now, whereas I didn't used to experience that at all. I keep thinking back to like, I haven't had a relationship since college, right? Because I met the girl right after college. And in college, it really doesn't matter. Like, everyone's poor. And yeah, some people's parents pay for a nice off-campus apartment, but basically everyone's poor. So like, nobody even like considers any of that stuff. And that's what I'm going for. Is an environment where that would never be considered. Case says, once you get enough money, try Philippines or Thailand, maybe. Women love to work for you and love you. Do it before the feminism virus reach those countries too. Well, okay, so I consider myself to be a feminist, but I'm very hesitant to say that because of something that happened a few years ago. So I was raised, I mean, my dad was around, but it's a long story. But I was raised basically by two very strong women, my mom and my grandma. And even before that, although she died when I was like 2.5, my great grandma was around, who was sort of the matriarch of the family. So really raised by like 3 really strong women. And then on my dad's side, although they died before I was born, my dad's mom, for most of his childhood, was a single mom who worked and raised him. And then her mom, my dad's grandmother, she was around until I think 3 years before I was born. She was like 100 years old. But she, again, was like sort of the matriarch of like this entire family. So I have had some male family members, but it's always been the women that have been in charge. I grew up under what's called the Sandra Bim gender schema theory, which is basically where you know the biological difference between men and women, but um, but like you don't know any other difference, and that's basically the way I grew up, and so I always considered myself to be a feminist because I do support women's rights, like equal pay and obviously things that they already have now that they didn't used to, like voting, or like being able to have bank accounts, their own land. But like, I support all those things. And so growing up in the environment I did, and then also supporting those things, I thought that I was a feminist. Well, I still think I'm a feminist. But years ago, maybe like 5 to 10 years ago now, I got into this discussion, and I think it was on Instagram in the comments of some post, where essentially I made a comment that I thought was supportive of feminism, and a woman attacked me, like viciously attacked me in the comments, saying that I was like anti-feminism, and I'm like, no, look, I'm supporting this, and they like I just got like completely ganged up on, and then like there was a guy in the comments somehow that also was saying that I was not a feminist and that men can't be feminists and that they're like, and then at one point a couple of them were telling me like, we don't want you, like we don't care if you support our ideas, like we don't, you don't get to call yourself a feminist, and like it was really bad. Like this argument still sticks with me. So anyway, I don't know. I think I'm a feminist, but I've been very soundly told that I am not. So I don't know. Okay, but then as far as the other part of your comment where you said to go to the Philippines or Thailand, I would feel weird if a woman did work for me. I've never had anyone in my life ever help me with anything. Like I've never had, I've never had family. I've never had, I can tell you the girl did nothing. I mean, she bought pizza one time, and one time she offered to take my plate to the kitchen. And that's like legitimately in the entire 9 years together, those are the only things that she did that were nice or helpful. And so it's not that I think that it's a bad thing, it's just something that I don't know that I'd be comfortable with because I'm so unused to it, and I would feel bad if somebody was doing something for me. Now, if I'm in like a time of need and I need some support, like yes, I'm okay with that, but in general, if I can do it myself, I'm gonna do it, and it would definitely make me feel weird if a girl was doing something for me. But I mean, as far as you say, like, you say the women love to work for you and love you. I mean, I would hope that's anywhere. I would hope that if a woman wants to be in a relationship with a guy, that she's doing that because she cares about him. But like maybe that's just me not being able to see past my own motivations. Greg says, I dated a woman in 2016 and I proposed in 2017 and she accepted. We were planning to get married in June 2018, but I figured out before then that all she wanted me for was to spend money on her. We broke up in January 2018 and it sent me into a deep depression. Yeah, I've been there, am there. You guys know I'm still dealing with my stuff. And that, that was a relationship. That's what caused it. So yeah, I mean, I think with that, I mean, I know you didn't know at the time, but after going through it now, and like me after now going through what I went through and seeing the dating scene on the other side of it, like I think we just have to like from the start just be like, I'm not paying for anything. Yeah. Go get a job. Like, that's literally what I've told some women on dating apps. And I'm not like being like aggressive from the start. It's just when it's like our first day talking and they bring up like how they want to be supported, or like, I mean, financially, or like what, even if they're not directly asking for money, like sometimes they make it clear that like they want to have me pay for everything in the relationship, and it's just like, no, like, anyway. Case says, just do coffee date. Women nowadays know they can't just get money out of men on first date because men are waking up. So they only ask for free meal. Then they ghost you. A meal is the max. So just coffee now. Yeah, so here's my thing about coffee. I agree with you that that's like kind of a good test to see if she's cool with that, or at least patient enough to go through that and then to get a second date before she tries to make you pay for dinner. But like, here's the thing. I don't like coffee. That's the biggest thing. And every time I've had girls ask me to coffee, and I'll say, oh, well, like, I don't actually like coffee, but I'll get hot chocolate when I'm there. Like, I'm cool with that. I don't know why, but every time I've said that, they get super weird about it and then end up like completely backing out. And I don't see what the problem is. I don't know why it's different. That I would get hot chocolate instead of coffee, but it's happened every single time. So I do agree with you that it should be something short, it should be public, it should be somewhere you can talk, and something that's pretty cheap. So even if I do buy her coffee for her, you know, it's not going to be that expensive. And it does show that she's either not after money or at least a little bit patient. But I do have that one hang up because it's like, because I don't really like coffee. Some people do that with drinks, right? They'll say like, oh, let's go out for a drink. Well, I don't drink. And I'm not like super big with the bar scene. I also don't want to be in a incident where like I'm sober and she's drinking. So that's not going to work either. Now, the reason that I always go for a meal on a date is I like food, and I have to eat every day. Most people do. So I just kind of incorporate it into something I'm already gonna do. Like, I'm planning on eating. Would you like to go eat with me? And it's just sort of them coming along, basically. I do end up going somewhere probably nicer than I would have gone myself, because I'm not going to be like, hey, come over to my frat house and I'll warm up a frozen dinner for you. But I know, like, I'll actually go out to a restaurant. But yeah. TD says, wow. Case says, feminism today is not feminism before. Voting rights, equal pay. Feminism today is female supremacy. I definitely have gotten that vibe from, okay, to be fair, it's a little bit of a vibe from life experience and a lot of seeing stuff on TikTok. But I believe in equality. Let's just say that. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from. I don't think either gender, sex, I get those confused, by the way, sex and gender, but either one of those shouldn't be taking advantage of the other one, either way. Case says, yeah, because women want to go out to $300 meal on the first date and want to ghost you after before you can ask more of her, kissing, etc. So if you ask for coffee, they know they wouldn't be getting their time's worth, so they reject. It is a good way to filter out these women. Yeah, and I agree, as far as filtering them out. But the way that I think about it is like, say that I meet somebody on a dating app, right? I don't know if I like them or not, and maybe we've talked for a little bit. But my thing is always, I just want to get to know you. Like, I want to get to know you better. Um, and whether that's us meeting up for coffee or we go for a walk or whatever, um, I want something low key that's like fairly quiet so we can talk. I understand, it always being somewhere in public for their feeling of safety, but like, but yeah, I agree. It should be something that's either free or very cheap. Greg says, I'm not going to cave to societal conventions and get married because I have to. I'm 48. I want to stay single. So for me, well, I do want to get married, but I don't know if that's going to happen because I mean, I'm single. I'm 40 and I'm single. So, um, I'm not going to get married just because I want to do that. Like, I obviously have to find somebody that I even like to begin with. Um, and I'm not going to rush it or push it just because that's something I want. If I get married at 50 or 60, okay, that's just how it goes. But I I do want that, and I know that's rare for a guy. Um, but yeah, again, I mean, I would only do that with the right person. Because you guys see how long I was with the girl, right? Like, we were together 7 years before we got engaged, and then we set an engagement for 10 years. We would have been together for 17 years before we got married. All right, so um, depending on the person, maybe the engagement wouldn't be that long. But I would definitely very much take my time and get to know somebody before that. I'd really get to know somebody pretty well before I'd even entertain the idea of a relationship with them. My thing is, I can meet up with somebody and I'm like, we talk, we get to know each other, we get comfortable with each other. Um, I get the feeling of whether, do I like this person? Do I not? Are they a good person? Are they not? Um, what do I see this person as, kind of thing. And that's a long process. It takes a while. Um, but the hold up right now is just um, you have to meet someone, and I'm not really in a place right now where I'm doing that. And well, either that or like anybody that I am interested in is like really far away. So where it's like, oh, if we were close by, maybe I'd want to get to know them better, but um, it's just not really practical with the way things are right now. All right, I finally got to the bottom of the comment section. You guys feel free to comment, but I finally caught up. I hope that didn't scare anybody off or offend anyone too much, but that's just kind of where dating is. I get where you guys are coming from and how you feel about stuff, and for me, I guess I'm not experiencing that all that much because I'm not really. You guys should see me swiping on Tinder or Bumble, because it's like 98% left swipes, so it's no wonder I don't get any matches. I mean, to be fair, I did get a few matches this week, but nothing really came of them. Okay. So we are currently almost an hour in. Wow. We talked about that for a long time. All right. Um, okay, so we got 13 people on. Case says, LOL, if you do 100% right swipe, you still won't get anything real. Well, that might be true, but so here's the thing though, and I think this is why I'm particularly bad at dating. Um, and Justin says that's been my experience as well. Um, I think he's talking about what Case said. Um, Case says you're getting bots that send you scam links or Nigerian women trying to get visa. um, okay, so yeah, I'm probably like the most selective person on dating apps because one, I'm just like selective, but then I also look and like if they have kids, obviously no. On the ones that'll let you set up a filter for that, I have them filtered out anyway. But some of them don't, or they make you pay for it to get that filter. Because I think like Hinge is one um, where you have to pay for it. So I have to like look at every profile. And if I see a picture and there's like a car seat in the back seat, like hit the X on that. Because that's just not something I want or want to deal with. And the other ones that scare me are like ones that they're like older, which I'm not opposed to dating somebody older than me, but they'll be like 45 and then it'll say like wants kids and I'm just like I mean that's fine. That's your decision if you want to do that, but I really feel like you'd be rushing. I mean, obviously I don't want kids anyway, but I feel like that would be like really pushing and rushing things. Um, so but yeah, that's basically what I'm facing is I would like to find a girl who obviously meets my standards, but who actually likes me and isn't there for the money, who has her own job um, or supports herself somehow and doesn't need my money, I guess. And I would like for it to be kind of like it is in college. You know, everyone's equal. You get together with somebody because you actually like them. TMUSA says, how are the guys you're living with? I hope they are respectful. Um, they are pretty respectful of me. I mean, I don't really. So they were all drunk on the front porch last night, and I ran out there to do something, and it was like some of the senior leadership, and they were, they were saying that they were all cool with me. So, and that was nice. I hope that's true. I mean, it seems like it. They they're not entirely respectful of the house. They do break a lot of stuff. Um, Somebody kicked some holes in the wall this week that I got to figure out. Somebody broke the toilet last week and the TV the week before that. So stuff that I have to deal with. But like to me, they're fine. Like they normally don't do anything with the music that bothers me too much. I haven't had to say anything this year about them turning it down. I had to say something last year because the speaker was in the hallway right above me, and it was still on at like 7 in the morning. But even then, they moved it to the other end of the hallway, so they're pretty good. I mean, you can only really expect so much with a fraternity house and the age of the guys. They're all like 18 to 22, but they do okay. Nobody's been, at least to my face, nobody's been disrespectful. So, um, I guess it's fine. Um, yeah. Case says, you see, men look for qualities like no kids, no debts, no mental problems, or good looking and loyalty. And if you have even one of those qualities, that woman would have a chance. But for the opposite, women look for 6'6", 6 feet tall at least, 6 inches and six figures, all qualities, not just one, for a man to have a chance. So I think maybe that's true. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not a girl, so I can't say what they're looking for. But I would say so. I'm 5'9.25", and I've dated women, so that's obviously not always the case. Um, but I mean, I get what you're saying. Um, for me, and then this is what you're saying about the qualities of women. No kids, obviously a big one for me. No debts. I don't care about that at all. Like, literally at all. Like, she could be $1 million in debt. I don't care, and it's none of my business. And it has no effect on how I think of her at all. And then no mental problems. Well, that didn't used to be one of my standards, but we see where that got me. So I've put up with a lot from that, and in the end that meant nothing and got me screwed over by it. So I'm not saying that I wouldn't deal with somebody that has, say, depression, anxiety, even PTSD or something like that, but I think I need to draw the line somewhere, and I probably should have drawn that line a lot sooner than I did. And I do just always assume that everyone's loyal. Like, it's not really a thing that like I just expect that. Like, I don't think I need to say that, right? Like, if you enter a relationship, you don't really need to say, hey, by the way, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page, that you know you can't have sex with other people, right? Like, that's part of being in a relationship. You don't need to like explicitly state that. So like, I just expect that if I'm like dating someone, like we're official in some way, that there is that loyalty there. I mean, of course, there's been occasions where that hasn't been the case, but it was still expected. It was just that they did something different. Case says exactly. A man would say, if you have debt, it is okay as long as you have no kid and loyal. But a woman sees that you have debt and it is no deal. Yeah, they do that, and honestly, I really don't understand that at all, because it's not any of their business at all, and it doesn't affect them at all. So I don't know. Yeah. Case says I should always assume not loyal. Years of relationship to lower that assumption. What? And years of relationship to lower that assumption until 20 plus years marriage and you can realize you can trust her. Well, so here's the thing. I know most people start out without trust, and then like people have to earn trust with them. I'm not that way, and this is like not just in like romantic relationships. I'm like this with basically everyone. I trust people until I can't trust them. And I do remember, like, well, I'll give you an example here with the girl. When I came back in 2019 and we got engaged, I said to her that I would never be that kind of boyfriend, that I would never like suspect things and like accuse her of anything. That basically just if it ever got to the point where I couldn't trust her, that I just wouldn't be with her. And I guess I didn't really follow through on that, but that was my intention. Um, but I did at least stand for my own ethics, because like one day I already knew what she was doing, part of it at that point. But she handed me, I was in her apartment, and she handed me her phone. And she's like, I have nothing to hide from you. And she wanted me to go through her phone, and I just handed it back to her. Because I'm like, I knew I would, no matter what, if you look at anybody's phone, you're going to find something that's going to upset you. So, like, I knew that I'd find something, but I just didn't want to be that guy. And even though she was saying it was okay, I didn't want to do that for myself. Case says women are with you for better, but not for worse. Women look for winner at the end of the race and not running the race with you. Which, yeah, and that's, well, I don't think that's always true, and I'm wanting a girl who would be there through the tough times. That's actually a big portion of the loyalty that I had to my ex when we were together, is that she had been with me through a lot of bad times, through a lot of struggles, getting established out of college, and then like with her long-term illness, like we got through that together. So I was there with like through that with her on her end, and then she was there with me through my struggles on my end. And like I was just so eternally grateful that she stuck with me no matter what happened. And so that was a big part of like why when things started getting really bad, I wasn't leaving, because I'm like, I have this history and this connection with her, and I don't have that with anyone else, and I don't know if I could ever build that with anyone else. And I think that's why it took, well, I mean, I was going to say, that's why it took me so long to leave. I mean, and in fact, I basically didn't leave. Like, I stayed until she left me. But, yeah. I want somebody who's going to be there. Like, if I get sick, I want somebody to be there, right? If I don't know. I mean, if shit happens, my life falls apart again, I would want a girl who went through the bad times with me as well. Oh, Case says something unrelated. What is that spot on your left arm? Can you zoom in on that? Oh, this? It's just a mole. I don't know. Probably can't. Well, yeah. I've got all these little moles. I have a few big ones too. So, yeah, that's it. I have yeah. So there's like one there. Well, there's one there. One there. Oh, I'm not even on camera. Okay, one there. So yeah, I have like freckles and moles. I just have a lot of pigmentation. Actually, I have. Let's see if I can find it. I should know where this is. Okay, well this is embarrassing. I have 2 birthmarks and I can't find them right now. I think I'm just so used to looking at them myself. Oh, here's one. So I have a birthmark right here that's like this oval shape that's just like a little bit pigmented. It's not coming out on camera very well, but there's that one. And then I think the other one is, okay, well, I don't know why I can't find this right now, but I think it's somewhere over here. I have a second birthmark that's basically the same kind of thing. And I thought it was right there. I mean, I haven't, how often do you look for your own birthmarks? I don't know. But I know I'm pretty sure it was on the opposite arm. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to look for that later. That's gonna bother me. But it was the same type, basically. Oh yeah, Case, I've got like so many. Case says, oh wait, hold on. That big one, you should take some time to look at that. In medicine, dermatologist checks for ABCDE, stands for asymmetry, border, color, diameter, and elevation. That mole looks like asymmetric and border uneven. See a dermatologist. You don't want that to be a melanoma or something. Just get him to do a shave biopsy. Well, that would require money and a doctor. So, I know that eventually I do need to go to a dermatologist to just like get checked out all over. Now, I will tell you this: my dad had melanoma. He had it on his leg. He just got it cut out, and it was fine. As far as I know, it never came back. So I think I had one before. If you guys look at my really, really, really old videos from like 2016, I had a spot that was like around here. And it was there for like a year or two. And it eventually it changed size, it changed color and consistency. But the weird thing is it eventually like fell off and just went away completely. So, I don't know, but Case, you're in Canada though, right? Because it's different there, right? You can just go to the doctor. Because you can't really do that here. I don't want to alert you when I was in medical school. F for family history, only he uses it. So now you're saying your dad had it, you should definitely get checked out. So, I don't really have a family history. Okay, well, let me back up. I don't really have a family history of cancer like a lot of people do. I have, as far as I know, on my mom's side, nobody has had cancer. On my dad's side, my dad had that melanoma on his leg, and his mom died of breast cancer. Now, she might not have died, but it was this whole thing where she was like misdiagnosed and she was being treated for something else. So she essentially wasn't being treated for having breast cancer. I think they didn't know until she died or something. But like my dad and his mom were the only instances of cancer that I know on that side of the family. So yeah, I don't know. But again, yeah. I mean, I can look into it, but I guarantee you it'll be thousands of dollars between getting like an appointment for a dermatologist and having an actual test done and then studied. What's really funny though? I have a place on my leg, which every time I go, I had a mole that was spreading, so I got a shave biopsy to get peace of mind. Growth can fall off, they can be benign, but why take a chance? Poor? I mean, I know that with you being Canadian, like it would be hard to understand, but like as an American, like my whole life, that's pretty much just been the plan. Like if something happens, you just die because you can't do anything about it. As an Appalachian in particular, you don't go to the doctor unless you literally are dying. That's just the way it always has been. That's just the culture. I mean, America's kind of like that anyway, because like a lot of people can't afford it. But like being from the culture that I'm from, Appalachian, it's even more so that way because we're like the impoverished part of an impoverished country. But yeah, no, I don't know. And I'm sure that's not the only one, by the way. Like I mean, if you look at all my moles, I don't think any of them are symmetrical. That's really going to bother me that I can't find that other birthmark. It's so weird. Oh, apparently I'm just blind. I don't know if that'll come out on camera. It really won't. I guess it's just like very faint. Maybe it's faded over time. But there's a little bit of a discoloration here. That's my other birthmark. Also, I do have Case, should I come to Canada so you can cut me up? All right, hold on. I'm gonna show you guys. I don't know if this is technically considered a birthmark or not, but if I can get my eyes close enough to the camera, I don't think I can look at myself and do it at the same time. I don't think it's gonna come out on camera. I technically might have birthmarks on my eyes as well. The colored part of my eyes have some of my some of the colored part of my eyes are not colored. One eye has like one spot like that, and the other spot has 2 or 3 spots. And my mom says that it wasn't like that when I was born, and then when I was like maybe 3 days old, they appeared, and she was worried about it, so she took me to the eye doctor, and they gave her eye drops, and then they went away with the eye drops, but then like they came back, and I've had them ever since. So you know how most people have that like, well, like disc area, I guess, where you have the colored part of your eye. Well, mine in that area has these black splotches where it's just black instead of a color. But yeah, it's always been like that. I mean, what I totally need is once I get financially good enough, I need to go to a doctor and just say, hey, I haven't been to a doctor basically my entire life. I need you to just like run every test possible. I don't think there's anything wrong with me, and I'm kind of afraid to find out, but at some point, I should probably figure something out. I don't know. I think the last time I went to a general doctor to get like a checkup was probably 25 years ago. Also get your colonoscopy check too. The trend of colon rectal cancer is getting younger and younger. It is near 30 to 40 years old right now. So, I mean, I think you understand why I don't want to do that. I know eventually I'm going to have to. You've seen that episode of Family Guy, right? So, look, it's not something I'm looking forward to. And honestly, like, I know you're supposed to start getting it at 40, but at least in America, they just changed that to 50. Like, they upped it to 50. Like, that just changed this year or last year. Because I thought I was going to have to get one this year. So, yeah, that's just kind of where things are, I guess. But yeah, so I guess I probably don't have any up there. There's a couple more. Yeah. So I have them on my arms. Canada has changed to 30 to 40, which means you get it for free. Yeah, I have no idea how much. If it is changed to 50, then you have to pay. Oh, so like if you get it, if they change it to 50 and then you get it when you're younger, you have to pay. So they changed it to 30 so that it could be covered. Yeah, that makes sense. They probably did it for the opposite reason here. They probably changed it to 50 so that the insurance doesn't have to cover it. So. because it's considered not necessary. Yeah. Um, Healthcare won't cover that. Yeah. Well, my big thing medically is I think over winter break, if I can get my travel coordinated, I'm going to be getting my teeth cleaned, um, which I'm way behind schedule on that. I got so thrown off with COVID because my my scheduled cleaning was April 2020. So they called me and canceled because like everything was shutting down. And then by the time that they called me 6 months later to try to schedule my what should have been my next one, um, I was in the process of moving. And then all this stuff with the girl happened. And you guys know everything that's happened ever since then. And especially with the couple years I didn't have any money. I mean, I've set myself up an HSA. I have a little over $1,000 in it. I can definitely afford to get my teeth cleaned. Um, and I'm getting x-rays when I do that too, so who knows, I might have a cavity that I need to get done. But essentially, I'm saying I will have the dentist stuff pretty much covered. Speaking of dental care, Canada just got free dental care for all Canadians making 80,000 or less. That should be about everybody, right? Like, I got 2 crowns, 2 root canals, 4 to 5 fillings, and teeth cleaning. I got 2 crowns, 2 root canals, 4 to 5 fillings, and teeth cleaning for free so far in the last 2 months. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to tell you, like, in American money, how much that would be. I know it's different than Canadian dollars, but like, um, crown, I have absolutely no idea how much that would cost. Root canal sounds expensive. Don't know about that. Fillings, I want to say it's been a really long time since I've gotten one, but I want to say it was like $200 or $300 for one filling. So you'd have 4 or 5 of those. And then the teeth cleaning, I want to say is like 125 where I go. It used to be 99, but it went up. And then the x-rays I think are around 250. Or at least that's what they were last time I did them. Case says worth about $1,000 so far, all for free. Why are you not in Canada? Wait, you said 10,000? Oh yeah, 10,000. Why are you not in Canada? Well, you know, they like to keep us here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Canada's necessarily the place for me. Obviously, there's a lot of things that are better there. And it's really hard to move to as an American. If I move out of the country, I'd rather go somewhere other than Canada. Like, not sure where, but like that. Well, I say it's also very cold there, but I also live far north of a lot of Canada. Like, I might even be further north than you, because I'm fairly close to Montreal. Yeah. So if you look at, I live in Durham, New Hampshire. So if you look at that on the map, I'm like real far north of a lot of stuff in Ontario. I'm on the border of, well, not on the border, but like, I guess my state is on the border of Quebec. I think I'm like a 4-hour drive from Montreal. Case says crown is about 2,000, same with root canals, filling about 300, cleaning about 100. Yeah. So that's still, even just like with the prices not covered by your healthcare, like that's, each individual thing is still a good bit cheaper than it is in the US. TMUSA says the last crown I got was $2,000, but I bet they'd be 4,000 now. Yeah, I know. See, this tooth right here, yeah, that one. I do need to get, I do need to get a crown. It's a whole thing. Um, Basically, what it was is when I was in college, for the most part, I couldn't afford dental care, and I didn't really have any problems. I didn't have any cavities, but on the back of that tooth, up toward the base of it, there was just like a hole that opened up. It wasn't a cavity. I don't know if a piece of the tooth broke or what, but everybody was like, "How do you do this? You just have an exposed nerve," and I've had an exposed nerve there for years through college. And I was like, it's fine. Just every once in a while, a piece of rice gets stuck up there, and that hurts. But like, other than that, it's fine. And so finally, after I graduated, after I graduated, I had my first job, and so I had health insurance. So I went and got the dental work done, and I wanted to get that hole fixed. And they're like, you need a root canal, which now some later dentists are like, no, you don't. But I got the root canal done, and well, the thing is, they just did the root canal, and then they were like, okay, you're done. And I was like, cool. At no point ever did they tell me that I needed a crown if I did a root canal. It was only like later when I went to a different dentist that they're like, you always have to do a crown if you have a root canal. And so like, I don't even know. I got this done 12 years ago. And they also told me that like your tooth is like dead and brittle and all these things after you get the root canal. And I'm like, it's fine. So I don't know. Look, someday I have money. I will go get a second opinion and see if I need a crown or not, or what I need to do. But for right now, I have a 12-year-old dead tooth that seems to be completely fine. And I did have 3D scans of it made. So if it does break, my dentist already has all the dimensions they need in case they need to do an implant. Case says, dude, if you married a Canadian girl, get your citizenship. Come here, get all your teeth fixed, all your moles shaved, all your problems solved. That's incredibly uncomfortable. I feel like that would be like when Will Smith got into the Men in Black and they're like doing all the stuff and they like burn his fingerprints off. Yeah, I'm not trying to like marry somebody for citizenship. I want to actually marry somebody because I want to marry them. But I don't know. I would definitely like to live somewhere that has healthcare though. That'd be nice. I think the only place that has it here is California and Massachusetts, which I do live like very close to Massachusetts, and I'm going there tomorrow. But I don't actually live there. Oh, Justin says you weren't covered under a parent in college. No. So apparently I'm really old. Now, the college that I work at now, University of New Hampshire, they require you to have health insurance to go there. And if health insurance had been required when I went to college, I just simply wouldn't have been able to go to college. That was not an option. That was not something I could afford at all. And there was an option to get health insurance through the college's policy, but I didn't do that. And my parents, see, for years I thought I didn't have health insurance. And then I was talking to my mom one time about it, like years and years ago. And she's like, yeah, you had insurance the whole time through my stepdad. And I guess just nobody ever thought to tell me that. I don't know. But it definitely stopped when I was like maybe 16, but definitely by 18. Because, see, the whole being covered until you're 26 thing, that's part of Obamacare. And that, I mean, he wasn't even president until 2008. And that was, I was already in college by that point. I don't know when Obamacare actually went into effect. But, like, whenever it was, I was way past being 26. And I'm also pretty sure at that point, my parents, whether it be my mom or my stepdad or my dad or anybody, I don't think they actually had their work plan anymore. I think they were on probably whatever you get in retirement at that point. Case says, get a job here. Money prob solved. Woman problem solved. Health prob solved. I lied. There are money prob and women prob here too. Only good thing is health taken care of. Yeah, it's also really cold. So, I I don't know. I guess I'm not too worried about the woman problems. The health problems, I guess I'm not too worried about that, but yeah, I probably should be more worried than I am. But yeah, I mean, of what I'm aware of, I don't have any reason to be. One thing that I have to be grateful for is that I'm incredibly healthy. Like, my health, everyone around me has all these medical issues, and I've just been incredibly healthy. And I know that that's because of, like, my genetics. Well, I mean, it's my genetics, but it's like the nature versus nurture thing. It's like, yes, it's my genetics are really good, and everybody in my family has been, like, really super healthy and lived really long lives. But I also don't do anything that messes that up, right? Like this right here, this is my only problem. I am very heavily addicted to caffeine, and someday I'm gonna have to get off that. And the vehicle of delivering it, because it's got all the chemicals and stuff in it. But beyond that, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I'm pretty healthy other than that. Oh. Kay says, dude, if a Canadian girl offers you marriage, just take it. It'll change your life. Just take a loss with your partner choice. In life, you have to take a loss somewhere. I mean, if I were gonna go that route, I would prefer to find one I actually like and who actually likes me, and it not be like a weird transaction. My little brother in my fraternity, this is years ago, but we actually joked about getting married. This is back, it must have been around the time gay marriage became legal in the US. So like 2014, 2015. We joked about doing a Chuck and Larry. I wouldn't actually go through with that, but I think he was serious that, like, he would do it if I wanted to. But like so he's a dual citizen, US and UK, because his dad is from the UK. And can you hear that? This building makes so many weird noises. Anyway, so yeah, because and he actually did move, by the way. He I want to say it was like 2 months ago. No, that's not right. It must have been back in the spring. He moved from Minnesota to London. So someone upstairs just flushed. Yeah. Well, so that's what it sounds like, but so okay, here's the deal. So I have this co-working space and it's like an office on the main floor, and then yeah, there are apartments upstairs. That's not the only weird noises that this building makes, though. I'm usually here late at night or like on Sunday, and there's nobody here. Um, so it's like I'm usually the only one here, and I hear all kinds of weird noises. Not like ghost weird noises, but like weird building noises like that. You would think, since this is a brand new build, that they would make it so that you wouldn't hear stuff like that. But anyway, oh, well, yeah, Kay says I work in a hotel. You hear that all the time, just poop flushing. So I gotta ask you guys this. I'm in Dover, New Hampshire, the birthplace of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I loved them growing up. But I can't remember who my favorite was. I don't know why I can't remember that, but I must have had a favorite. Everybody had a favorite turtle. So you guys let me know what your favorite Ninja Turtle is. Because I gotta tell you guys about this. So I told you I bought my winter jacket, right? I am so happy with the deal I got on it. Kay says Raphael is my favorite just because of his sigh. He's the purple one, right? Okay, so I told you guys I got that jacket. This is gonna roll into the Ninja Turtle story. So I'm not working. I live in the next town over from where the Ninja Turtles, the red one, okay, from where the Ninja Turtles were invented. And my office, my co-working space, is in the town where they were invented. It was something that when I was growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, I was super into as a kid. Like I said, I can't remember which was my favorite, but here's why I need to know. Because, so I got this jacket and it's green, okay? It's like a really dark green. So like, depending on the light, sometimes it looks black, sometimes it looks green. But if you're out in the sunlight, it looks dark green. So it has like a hood, and if it gets really cold, I'm gonna have the hood up. And I wanna get a hat, like, again, something I've never really needed to have, but like not like a hat, but like English is hard. Like a woven, like cloth hat. And I want to get one, and they've got a bunch of different colors. I got one picked out that I like, but there's a bunch of different colors. And so I thought, well, if I'm wearing this green coat, then I should get like a contrasting color for the Ninja Turtles. Like, it's like green. Oh yeah, and it's got like yellow straps on it, so it's like green and yellow, which makes it keeps making me think of the Ninja Turtles. And then I'm gonna get like the hat of whatever color Ninja Turtle. I just wish I could remember which one was my favorite one. But anyway, so I got such a great deal on this coat. So the thing is, I'm trying to prepare for winter here, and as much as I hate spending money, I'm thinking of this as an investment in me being able to be continued to be employed in New Hampshire, because I cannot deal with the cold. And so since I'm living somewhere that's much colder than I've ever lived, there's a few things I need. Coat, boots, base layers. That might be as far as it goes, but I now have the coat, and next month is the boots. So now that I have the coat, guys, I'm so happy with the deal I got on this. I was looking for which ones I wanted. I found the model I wanted, and they were $800, which I'm like, okay, I have $800, but like, that's more than my computer was. I really don't know if I can make myself spend that much money on a coat, even though I desperately needed it. So I was looking to try to find them used. I looked on eBay, I looked on Poshmark. I wasn't finding them marked down all that much. And then I found out that the company that sells them actually has like a pre-owned site. And I found one in my size, and it was this green one. So if I were to pick it out myself, I probably would have gone with black, or maybe brown, or maybe gray, or like a neutral color. Or I might have gone the other direction and got like a really bright color. Because like if it's snowy out, you know, it's nice to have a bright color to be seen in. I probably wouldn't have picked dark green. There's nothing wrong with the color, but as good of a deal as I got on this, I cannot complain. So basically, it was an $800 jacket, and I went on their pre-owned website, and it said, this one was, it says, pre-owned, used without tags, right? And there weren't very good pictures, but because it was coming from the company who actually made the jacket, I was like, okay, can't be in too bad of shape. And then when I got it, it actually still has the tags on it. So I think, I don't know why it said like used without tags, because I looked it over everywhere and I can't find anything on it, and it still had the tags. So I think it actually is new. I don't know if it's like from a prior season or what the deal is. But I don't think it's ever been worn. So I was able to get this $800 jacket for $337 plus like $7 shipping. And I know that's a lot to spend on a jacket, but I'm very sensitive to the cold. And I'm going to, yeah, this is going to help me make it through. And if you guys want to look up and see what it is, obviously I don't have it with me here today, but it's Fjallraven Expedition down jacket. And it's the heavier one, because there's like a Expedition Light. It's not that one, it's the regular Expedition that has more down in it. Oh. So yeah, so anyway, so with my green jacket, I'm gonna get my little winter hat. And then, oh, I gotta tell you guys, there's a few things going on. So I'm still a little behind on work, but I'll get that done. Like, I'm getting caught up. Tomorrow I'm going to Massachusetts for the first time because I have a work gig to build some furniture. And then sometime in October, preferably before it gets too horribly cold, I'm going to be taking the train up to Freeport to the LL Bean flagship store, and I'll be getting fitted for, and probably just while I'm there, buying my boots. I'm spreading this out. Like, I bought the jacket 1 month, the next month I'm gonna buy the boots and the socks. And then probably the next month after that, November, hopefully that Black Friday deals, I will buy some base layers. And I know somebody else mentioned I should get snow tires. That's not gonna happen because I didn't think about it until recently, and now I just don't think I'm gonna be able to scrounge up the money for that. So let's just hope all-wheel drive is enough. But I will, yeah, so I will be kind of prepping myself for New England winter. I'm gonna have bean boots, wool socks, wool base layers, and this super heavy jacket. So it's probably not really enough, but it's the basics to get me by. And like I said, as much as these are expensive items that I normally wouldn't buy, but I'm looking at it as an investment for me to maintain being employed here by literally being able to survive the winter here. I just cannot do cold, and So anyway, so that's kind of where that is. Guys, I'm gonna take a short break because I'm out of drink. I'm gonna go. I have some other Diet Pepsi in the fridge down here. I'm gonna pour myself a cup. I'll be right back. Give me like, not quite. It won't even be like 2 or 3 minutes. I'll be right back. And anything you guys leave in the comments while I'm gone, I'll get back to you when I come back. I have arrived. Thank you everybody for sticking around. Before I see Case's comment, Case, before I answer that, what province are you from? Or like, do you live in? Because I've been sitting here talking about how cold it is and then I realize you're in Canada. You probably actually know how to dress for winter. And I forgot, I kind of got off track earlier. When we were talking about moles, I was starting to say, I have this place on my leg that when I have gone to like an urgent care or something, they've noticed it. So they've kind of like looked at all of my moles and stuff, just a cursory glance. and they didn't seem to think any of them were too extraordinary, but there's this one place on my leg, which I'm looking at it right now. I'm not gonna like contort myself to put my leg on camera, but it looks weird, and they're always like, they're like convinced that it's cancer, and I'm like, dude, it's not cancer. I got stabbed. It's I have a piece of graphite in my leg that I've had in there since elementary school. It might not actually be real graphite. It's like whatever is in the lead in elementary school pencil, basically. And this girl stabbed me in the leg, like right on the shin bone, and like the graphite like broke off, like in my leg. And it's been there. Yeah, it's been there ever since. Okay, so let me get caught up here. Okay, so you said what happened to your film project now? No update. Are you talking about the girl, as far as getting that filmed? And you say you're in Ontario, Toronto City. Okay. I'd have to look at the map. Am I farther north than you? I'm in this new part of the country, and I'm not like totally sure where I'm at in relation to other things. I know I'm north of a good chunk of Ontario, like the part that goes down into the Great Lakes. And I'm gonna get to your question, Case, but let me just, before I get sidetracked, TMUSA, it's Fjallraven. It's, I think, FJALLRAVEN. Yeah, Case, I'm north of Ontario. Like, technically I'm east of Ontario. But I'm like, as far as just like latitude, I'm farther north than a good chunk of Ontario. I don't have a map in front of me, but you could look at it and say I'm east of Ontario, but if you look at like where my actual town is and just like latitude, I'm farther north than a lot of the towns in Ontario. I'm on the border of Quebec. Well, I mean, I'm not physically, like, I'm in New Hampshire, which is on the border of Quebec. I'm in the eastern part of the state over by the ocean, but I'm, like, literally where I'm physically at right now, I'm about a mile south of the border of Maine. And I'm probably 10 miles north of the border of Massachusetts. Because especially in the southeast corner where I'm at New Hampshire is like real skinny. Okay, so as far as the film project and the girl, I don't really have an update for you other than just to say the same thing as last time, as that is something that I'm going to do eventually. There's two big reasons why it's not done right now. The first is that stuff is still ongoing. Like, I'm still in court and I'm still doing that. So like kind of any energy or time that I'd have to focus on getting that done is focused on continuing getting stuff done for court, which when I do make the videos, that'll all be in there. And then the other part of it is and I know I've said this in other live streams, but I have like 100 different things that I'm trying to do. And I don't have nearly the time or resources to do like many of them. So I'm very slowly chipping away at things over time. But that just means that every one of those things takes absolutely forever to actually complete. Um, an example is I still have over 15,000 unread emails, and I'm going through between 20 and 30 of them a day. Like, not the new emails I get in a day, I go through those and keep up on that. But I go back through the old ones and I'm deleting them or doing something with them if it's something that needs done. Um, and I'm going, like I said, yeah, 20 to 30 of those a day, every day, literally for years it will take me to get through that. And while that's not the same thing as the videos, it's the same concept. I can start to make the videos, but it would be a lot better if I can get some of this other stuff off my plate first, so that I can both handle the stuff that's ongoing right now with the girl and legal stuff, and also with being able to actually make the time to film those. Because if I did now, like if I filmed like the intro, it might be a year later before I film the first episode. And I need to get some of this stuff off my plate so that I can sit down with enough time to actually create the story all at once. Well, not all at once, but like at least chunks of it, like 5 episodes at a time or something like that. So it's coming, but also just know that there are things going on that that are like still adding to that story, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know how that's gonna end up, but I'm still involved. Actually, the only thing I did this month as far as that stuff is I had a letter I had to write a letter, and then send some documentation with it to, well, this was to the Secretary of State. Essentially what it is one of the agencies that I've been having problems with, where I'm trying to get some documents that I need for my legal stuff, has not been cooperating, and they're not following the rules that they're supposed to, and the Secretary of State's office is in charge of enforcing that. So I had to write a letter to the Secretary of State. They confirmed they didn't have the stuff I was looking for, and so I had to write a letter in response saying, you know, this is what they've reported to you, this is what actually exists. They're not complying with the rules, or your rules, of doing this. And I asked them to look into it, like to conduct an audit. So whether they'll do anything or not, who knows. Kay says that's very east of Toronto, like 8-hour drive, maybe 2 hours to Montreal. Oh yeah. So I think I looked at it once. It's either 4 or 4.5 hour drive for me to get to Montreal. Case says, in hindsight, with all the effects she has on you, even now, is the whole experience with the girl worth it? As in, would you still want to do it all over again with her? Well, it's really hard to say that, because, like, on the one hand, I wouldn't knowingly enter an abusive relationship. And I know that now. So it's really hard to come back and make the decision and say, like, I would do it all over again. Because I know it was abusive and I wouldn't knowingly get into that. But outside of that, had I not had that realization, I feel like it would be worth it because of having the experience of the relationship. I mean, I did have everything, right? Like, I had a very long time partner, I had a fiance, I've had all the experiences of going through, like, although we didn't finish the process, adopting a dog together, and although we didn't finish the process, buying a house together, we did live together. Like, it's been my longest and most serious relationship, and like, I'm glad that I had those experiences. And had I not done it, I don't know what would have happened. I mean, maybe I would have found someone else, but maybe I wouldn't have. Um, you know, so it's hard to say because that would kind of factor into whether it was worth it or not. Kay says, well, most men need to swallow the red pill for this realization. I mean, I vaguely know what red pill is, but I'm not sure how it applies here. I mean, for me, I mean, I've talked about this before, but I mean, I still love her. And I don't think that's ever going to change because she was such an integral part of my life, such an important person. And so, like, just such a big figure in my life. I kind of almost, you know how you see your parents or your grandparents as like big figures in your life and they've basically always been there, and even if they die when you're young and then when you're old, you're looking back at them, they still feel like these big figures in your life. And I feel like that's the way that I see her. She's had so much influence and she was around for so long and was so much a part of my life in all these different pivotal moments. I don't think that she'll ever be not a big, important person in my life story. And the way that I think of it is with people who, let's say they get married and their spouse dies, right? People deal with that in different ways, but one of the ways that people deal with it is that yes, maybe they move on to a different relationship and find a new partner, but that first partner always has a big place in their life. And I feel like that's kind of like where I'm at with her. She's such a big part of my story and was around for so long that, I mean, she was almost my wife, right? Like, so it's not that far of a stretch to look at it as, you know, this was my first partner, first almost wife that that is not dead, but like essentially is not around for reasons. And because of the reasons, like, getting back with her is not an option, because obviously I can't, even if that was an option as far as she's concerned, it's not an option for me because I can't subject myself to that. So that, like, that has to be over with, I guess. And anyway, I don't know if I'm making any sense. Kay says, red pill is like the Matrix. Swallow it to get you to see the real world, aka the reality of how women are. Well, I'm not liking what I see in the dating pool, but I will also say, whatever my ex is, I don't think that's how all women are. I think that whatever she is like the worst case scenario of what I could encounter. And I'm not saying that I won't have problems in future relationships, but with her, they were so extreme and so numerous that I just don't think that I'm gonna have that kind of experience again. Um, so I guess what I'm saying in response to your comment is, I don't think how my ex is how women are. Maybe some aspects of it, but any woman I encounter in the future is not going to be like that. Uh, and I mean, I still don't even know what to say that was, because she was a certain thing for a number of years, and then she just changed for no discernible reason, into something so extremely the opposite of everything she'd been before. Never really did get any kind of information about what made that change. I mean, she kind of gave me some extremely vague answers that don't make any sense, but seems like something had to have happened for such a drastic change to occur to somebody, for the way they just operate, the way that they are as a person. I don't know. Sounds you like to swallow more red pills. Beside a shave biopsy, you need a prescription for 30 red pills 3 times a day for 10 days. I don't know what that means. Sounds like you to swallow more red pills. Oh, maybe you said meant need to. Sounds like you need to swallow more red pills. I don't know. I am just hoping that I meet a decent girl who can be not, you know, they can be like a partner, right? Like not just somebody who's in there for like romantic reasons, but like we actually like each other and spend time together, kind of thing. Oh, it means you need to be more pessimistic. I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty pessimistic anyway about relationships. But I guess I'm not pessimistic in the fact, or well, not the fact, but the idea that while I had a very bad experience, that I will eventually find somebody that is more of what I'm looking for, or what I thought she was, I guess. And I don't think that should be too hard to find. I mean, just, you know, a cool girl who likes me, like, who actually just likes me and is not there for money or any other weird reason, and who doesn't cause a lot of problems and is just, you know, cool. I mean, that is actually something my ex really had going for her before she turned evil, is she was basically a dude except a girl. I mean, she'd like she was wear like basketball shorts and like a cutoff t-shirt, and she played video games, and the way that she described herself to me shortly after we met pretty much sums it up. She said she's not very girly, but not at all butch. And yeah, so she was just like a chill, laid back girl, and we had a really deep friendship, and I would like to find that with somebody who's not going to go crazy. So that's the crux of our issue of where that turned. Case said, that's like getting shot for the first time and be like, well, you know, just because that the first experience is not good doesn't mean the next one. But I mean, I guess what's the alternative though? You know, I mean, because in that scenario, it's basically saying like, oh, well, if being in a relationship with a girl is getting shot, then the only correct answer there would be to like not ever be in a relationship. I don't know. I still think that I just had a really bad experience, and not even like an entirely bad experience, because like she was wonderful for a really long time. So I don't really know what happened, but I think there's gonna be somebody out there, and maybe it's already somebody I know, and I just need to get to know them better. But that's why, like with relationships and stuff, I know this is also not normal for a guy, but I do kind of start out as almost not friends exactly. Oh, well, I can't do that because they already put us on a terrorist watch list. Do you guys see a warning under this video? I've noticed them on Threads and on TikTok, but I heard they're on YouTube. Because now that Antifa was, this is so going to get demonetized, but since they've been declared a terrorist organization now, I've seen on Threads and TikTok, I've seen somebody will post something, and then under that, there's like a little info emblem, and it says that something like this person has been identified as a possible member of Antifa, a terrorist organization. And so anyway, trying to avoid all that stuff. I mean, I agree that if I make controversial stuff, it would bring in views, because it just makes everyone upset. It's not at all what I want to do, but I agree with you, it would get more views. It's kind of like if you look back at some of my really old videos, there's one where I just posted my DNA results, and I started a race war in the comments, and I was not trying to do that. I'm sorry I'm 1% black, but like, what? Like, these people, they all started fighting with each other in the comments, and then like there were like these wild conspiracy theories that I've never heard of, and everybody, I mean, there's like thousands of comments on there. It's one of the like top 3 videos views wise on my channel. And it was literally just because it's not even that I made somebody mad, it's that people, I guess, were just racist. And so like I think because I had some African DNA, people just started like talking about that and then fighting with each other about it. So I'm not like intentionally trying to do that, I guess is what I'm saying. Case said, if you make that film about your girl and how that's affected your life, how's that non-inflammatory? You'll hear it from the feminists. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know I think I've mentioned this before, but like, I've gotten some threats. I got several by email. I got one on Reddit. And I got a couple in the comments on my community posts. One of them's still there. The worst one I deleted. But yeah, it's anytime that I say that I experienced domestic violence at the hands of a woman, I have women threatening me in the comments. So, I mean, you're probably right, and I don't want to read those comments. Like, I do want to kind of get feedback on the videos when I post them, so it's not like I'm just going to turn the comments off. But I also, like, you're right, like, I feel like I'm going to get really horrible comments, especially when I've even just mentioned that I was going to talk about that, and people have gone out of their way to say the things that they've said. So, I don't know, but I mean, gotta talk about it. Women are abusers too, so I don't know. It's not meant to be inflammatory. I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, I wish that this hadn't happened to me. I wish I didn't have a story to tell. And I shouldn't be attacked because I do have one. Case says, don't care about what other people think. You can never please everyone. Just tell your truth. Be inflammatory. Get views. Get rich. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like, I know you and a few other people want to hear this story, and I want to tell this story. It should be out there. I don't think this is something that's going to be very popular. I mean, yes, it's possible the YouTube algorithm could push it if people get into a fight in the comments and YouTube sees a lot of engagement, but I'm kind of suspecting that people aren't going to get that far into it. They're probably not going to click on the first video in the series, and if they do, they probably won't find it that interesting. And it's so much information because it's like, at this point, what, 13 years of my life, and we're still going in court. You can just imagine how long and how many parts of video series it's going to take to tell that story. Like, I don't really necessarily think that it's that entertaining of a story until you get like a few years in. That's when like the Jerry Springer stuff starts, and by that point I don't think anybody's actually going to be following the story. So I'm just going to put it out there. If people watch it, they watch it. The more important thing to me is that I do exactly what I said I was going to do, and the whole reason I'm creating the video series. I wanted to explain to you guys why my life went completely off track, and as part of that, why I stopped making videos for like 2 or 3 years. I know I still did the monthly live streams, but I stopped making actual videos. I mean, I'm not gonna intentionally be inflammatory. Like, you know, somebody has to take the moral high road here, and it's not going to be her. So I am just going to tell the truth, and that makes her look bad enough. So I don't really need to say anything else. I've never called her names. I've never yelled at her. I'm not going to start now. I'm going to be respectful to her, even though she's not going to be respectful to me. And I know she doesn't like and would not want me to put that story out there, but it's my story to tell. And I owe you guys an explanation for why I disappeared off the face of the planet, why my channel got so disrupted. And it should be so simple as I could just explain, hey, here's why I dropped the lawsuit. But like I said, when I started to try to make that video, every time I kept jumping back, and I'm like, oh, but, well, to understand that, you have to know this other thing that happened prior. And that just kept happening. And I kept jumping back farther and farther, and I could never get to a point where I could just start the story where you would understand everything. So it just got to where I'm like, I'm going to have to tell the whole story from the beginning. That's the only way to understand it. And That's what I'm planning on doing. So yeah, that's kind of where things are. But the other thing is too, I'm inviting her to respond. I don't think she will, but it's important to me that all the information be out there on the table. That's all I've really ever wanted, right? Like, for whatever reason she even disappeared, I always just wanted to find out what was wrong and talk about it. But if I present my side of the story, and as much as her side as I know, I'll give you guys all that information. And then I'll invite her, like in the first video I make, I'll invite her to make a response to it so that she can have her side told too. Because truth be told, I don't know what her side is. She's never really said. So I'll include in my story as much as she said is her side. And maybe she'll finally explain herself. I don't know. Because she does watch these videos. Or at least she did in the past. Or if she didn't, she at least had people watching them for her and reporting back. Because that has come up in court. So I do think there's a likely chance that she either will watch the videos just because she's watching them anyway, or she'll find out eventually that I posted. That I posted something. All right. Just post all the Facebook messages or text and let the viewers decide what happened instead of an adulter diversion from her. Oh, well, now, so yeah. I'm not going to do that toward the beginning, but as things start to devolve, especially in the story when we get to like 2020, 2021, I will start posting more things like that, like copies of Facebook messages, like screenshots of things, more pictures, things like that. Because like for the longest time things were good and there's not really anything to show. But as things started to get bad, yeah, I think it's important for people to see the way that she talked to me. So, okay, I'll be right back. Give me like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. And I will respond to anybody in the comments when I get back. Okay, cool. Well, thank you everyone for sticking around. Okay, sounds good, Case. Yeah, basically, that's that's the plan. Just know, guys, that I am. I definitely, there's like no way around it. I will be posting that series of videos. I just don't know when it's going to be, because as it stands right now, there's still some court stuff going on. Like I said, I had to send that letter out. Got to wait the results of an audit. Some stuff I got to file probably early next year. But when that stuff is all over with, I can then shift the time and attention I'm spending on continuing that stuff to then sort of starting to make the videos saying what happened, if that makes sense. So I think I'm gonna guess, we'll look at the top fans ratings here. So Case has 225 XP. I'm surprised, actually. I am actually surprised because Case only has 225 with a lot of comments. Second place is TMUSA. And then, okay, this is throwing me because it uses your usernames, not your display names. So I think this is Justin is in third place. But then tied for third place is, I believe that's Greg, and then Max, and then TD, and then, who is this? It starts with an L. Anyway, so those are the top fans so far for the stream. So guys, I do want to address, I know I said last stream that I was going to make videos last month, and I totally didn't. I had planned to, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I felt like this month was like a week long, and I am still far behind getting caught up from the beginning of the school year. I'm more caught up now than I was last month, but I'm still behind. And so I am working on that. I really do want to get a video out to you this month, but I don't want to promise it again and then it not happen. I'm just really going to try for it to happen. But that's kind of where things are. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. By the time that we have the next stream next month, hopefully I have a video out for you. I will have added Massachusetts to my list of states since I've never been there. And more than likely, I probably will have traveled by train to Maine and bought my winter boots. So I'm not sure what day we'll have the stream next month, but I'll try to make it not conflict with Halloween. But we'll figure that out. So that's pretty much it. I know there are still 15 people on here, but I don't see anybody making comments, so unless somebody adds something quickly, I'll probably end it here soon. If I seem really tired, it's because I probably only got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. But basically, I know I'm still not on track getting stuff made, getting videos put on the channel. I wish I was, obviously not. I'm just gonna keep trying to get back on track, and the video that I promised you guys I would make last month, if I can make that this month, that would be a big help. So I'm hoping I can do that. Anyway, I don't see any more comments, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone too much by my opinions on those topics today. That's not my intention, but anyway, well, I guess that's it. I'll see you guys closer to Halloween, and hopefully I can get a video out this month. it'll be of my financial goals for like the first half of the year. So for those of you who are here for that type of content, you'll see that. And then I'm hoping by the end of the year I have some other types of content out as well. All right. TMUSA says, have a great next few weeks. Catch you in October. Thank you. You too. And I will try to be a little more accomplished this month as far as YouTube goes. So, okay, everyone. I will see you next month then.